We are so glad that you joined us here today. So our theme for the year of 2024 is a grand rising. And our theme, hey guys, it's September. Our theme for the month of September is pieces into peace. And this will be interesting. Charlene's got something prepared for us today. Can't wait to hear our message. And just let me say again that we are so glad that you took some time out of your busy day to join us. Charlene's message will be rising from pieces into peace, and that will kick off this theme for the month of September. So in just a moment, we're going to start our official welcoming video. But let me just remind you that if you have any prayer concerns or celebrations, please feel free to add them to the chat, and we will include them later in our service when we do our affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment, because it all starts right here, right, guys? And we'll do that later in our service. But let's watch our opening video as we officially welcome you to our service today. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly. And so it is. And so it is. Welcome again, everyone who's joining us today. So we had our welcoming video. Now's our time for meditation. And if you know me, you know I try to tie it in with the message of our talk. So pieces into peace. I think I got something good for us today. So I don't have any music, Charlene, if you want to try, or we're just going to do this without music. While we get that set up, just get into a very comfortable position. Relax. Maybe wiggle your shoulders a little bit. Stretch. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. And release. And once again, inhale. Hold. And release. Do that one more time because that just feels so good. Inhale. Hold. And release. So, our meditation today, I'm going to have you doing a lot of visualizing. So, close your eyes if that makes you feel comfortable. Or maybe you need to keep them open. This is your meditation time. Do whatever you need to do to get into that meditative state, to relax your body and relax your mind. We live in such busy worlds. We're constantly doing something. And just like we can't run an engine constantly, we have to go into this mode where we just kind of stop and pause and find that inner peace. And the best way to find that is to breathe in slowly, hold it, exhale, and just go into that meditative state. So I'm going to close my eyes for this visualization. And what I want you to do is I want you to think of something in your life that gives you so much joy, that just fills you up from your toes all the way up to the top of your head with joy every time you think about it. And as you grab that memory from your mind, from your heart, I want you to picture that memory as a piece in a puzzle. So you're holding a puzzle piece, and that piece that you're holding is representing that moment that just fills you with joy, that person that fills you with joy. Just picture the design on that. Maybe it's a symbol, maybe it's a color, maybe it's just something that you would say, yes, this is a piece of my life that brings me so much joy. Now, puzzle isn't a puzzle with only one piece, right? So now we're going to have to dig into our treasury and let's find another piece. Let's find another thing in our lives that just fills us up with joy, laughter, happiness. It just bubbles over. And once again, we're going to visualize that as a piece of the puzzle. Choose the color, choose the image. This is a new thought. This is a new memory. Oh, I've got a good one. How about you? So let's take that piece and let's join it. It joins so easily to that other puzzle piece. And you know what we're going to do next, right? We're going to find another moment of memory, something that just fills you with joy. No care, no concern, no worry. I've got another good one. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful, beautiful puzzle piece. Another part of your life that is just filled with nothing but joy, laughter, happiness. Take a moment with that puzzle piece. And you know what we're going to do, right? We're going to join it. Our puzzle is growing one piece at a time. So when you find yourself in that moment where you're feeling a little anxiety, a little worry, a little stress, you can go into this meditation. You can pull out the puzzle that you already started, right? You only just got started. You only have 3 pieces of puzzle. No, you can't stop with that. You got to keep going. And this is something that you can build piece by piece, one wonderful memory at a time. And that puzzle is like just sitting out on the table, waiting for you to stop, take a moment out of your day, add a few more pieces, and you can keep going because this puzzle is infinite. There's no end. There's no edge. All right, let's just take a breath again. Come back. I know when I see that setting sun, that's my cue to end meditation. And remember what I said, you can always come back to it. But for now, we have some music from Leah. So sit back and enjoy.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I have got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I have got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace. I've got peace just like a river. I've got the peace. I've got peace. I've got the river in my soul. I've got peace just like a river. I've got the peace. I've peace like a river in my soul.
All right, that was beautiful. And now here's our Reverend Charlene.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Tamara. Can everybody hear me okay? Good. Good morning. I've got peace like a river in my soul. So, the peace that we feel, even though it's the beginning of a brand new month, tomorrow's Labor Day, and I feel as if those of you who have young children, or those of you who are teaching young children or older children, anybody who's in the school cycle is probably feeling a little bit of that turbulence of the new school year. We, after having attended school for so many years, our new year is usually January. But for the teachers and the moms and dads of people who are still in school, for all of us who are still in that turbulent time, my prayers go out to you, because any change in your daily rhythm, it's a lot, and you've got people coming together and rooms full of sneezing, coughing, brand new who dis COVID, new COVID who dis, meaning yeah, your shots don't know about me. So all of that's happening, all of this we have to get through, and I just feel in my heart that this talk is timely because it's about taking all the little pieces that are running around needing your attention, all the little balls that you've got in the air that need to be managed and juggled in perfect harmony, or maybe they're plates that are spinning. Can we take these pieces, like the puzzle piece Tamara talked about, can we make it, these pieces, can we find a way to bring them in, include them into who we are, but then go deeper, find some peace within? Can we do that? Seems impossible at the surface, but this is the problem. When we live our lives from the surface, then we are thrown about, much like a boat on turbulent waters that's being tossed about by the winds of change. I remember a story of Jesus standing barefoot on a boat with a bunch of disciples, and they were freaking out. They were like, dude, we're going to die. I can imagine the screaming. And then Jesus, I think in the story, he was actually sleeping, and they were like, dude, wake up. How can you sleep? And he was like, what? Is there a problem? Oh, the turbulence? Peace be still. Stuff just stopped. I love that story from when I was a little girl because I thought, oh, to be able to just command life like that. But of course, as a child, I'm thinking from the surface. From the surface, it must be a surface story. It must be literal, because I'm still quite literal, I hate to admit. He must have just said, peace be still, and it all just stopped. And everybody was like, what? Later, I realized, as I get through these teachings from Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, Ernest Holmes talks about that story too, yet he makes it a metaphor for the metaphysical way in which we all have the ability to say, peace, be still. And we don't just say it. In fact, there's a 3-step process to saying peace, be still. I'll give that to you in a moment, cliffhanger. But I just want to give you a quick story. Tamara and I were talking before we went live, and we were discussing the ocean. The ocean, that is the turbulent waters at times. Tamara said she just saw the movie Twisters, where all you had to do in all that turbulence was find something more stable than the twisting, twirling wind, hold on to that, and you're good. And I thought, oh, So if I were on the water, literal physical water, how far down would I have to go into the ocean to find the stillness? Because this is what Ernest Holmes teaches. He says that beneath everything that you can see, there is something deeper going on. There's a principle of wholeness, perfection in the way that is divine perfection, not the external, superficial perfection. There is peace and wholeness deep within. Within each and every one of us, there's depth, there's wholeness deep within. Ernest said, never be fooled by the appearances. The appearances come about because of the way we think, because of the way we talk. Our thoughts become things. Then we're part of a community, and the group thought becomes group experience. Turn that into a culture, and then the culture has some dark sides. Am I right? Racism, sexism, all the isms. Culture can have problems. That's the turbulence that we could experience. But beneath that, in each and every one of us, there's something deeper happening, calling to us with a still small voice, which is why we have to get quiet to listen to it. And we go within. And when we go within, there is something profoundly, amazingly whole and peaceful. And if we stay there, indwell in that indwelling presence of the Most High, the Creator. I don't know what you call it. I used to call it God. For a while, I just made it Jesus because they taught us Jesus and God were the same thing. And that was that. And no Mary in sight, that was just the chick who gave birth. That's all. I learned so much more now. I'm like, the divine is neither masculine nor feminine. It's both. It's the creator of all that is. And it's so much bigger that we can't even comprehend it. But a piece of that is inside us. That which created itself is also inside its creation. It didn't create itself in leaf. It created us out of itself, which means we are it. It is us. So we're living in it. We are it, but then we're at the surface of it and we're like, oh my God, this looks terrible. I'm going to die. And then we allow the agitation, the worry, the fear about tomorrow, the regrets about the past, and all that stuff to take us out of this amazing moment, and we freak out. But below that surface is some deep, still waters that we can find. And so Tamara and I were discussing, how far do you think you have to go? And she's like, I don't think you have to go far. I feel like it's like right underneath the surface, because as the big waves are, the big turbulence and all the frothy tips of the turbulent ocean, maybe right below it. How far below? So in a moment, I asked my friend, the one whose name starts with G, whose name, which I say it'll be like, I'm your assistant, I can help you. I asked it. And it said, well, it depends. It said different region of the ocean has different varying levels. It goes, what time of year is it? Seasons have to do with it. How's the ocean conditions? Is it just a little rain? What's happening? Is it a cyclone? And then it goes, so like the deeper you go, the calmer you get. I was like, boom, drop the mic, Gemini, drop the mic. You did it. The deeper you go, the calmer you'll get. But that doesn't mean it's all dead. I've been scuba diving. It's amazing. What you get down in the ocean, I'm not too far, like 30 feet. I'm not like deep, deep diver, but what you see is seagrass is doing this. It is beautiful. Like there's so much seagrass on the floor, just doing this. And then you see little fishes poking their head in and out. You're told, don't touch anything. I'm like, say less. I'm not touching a thing. But and then you are, as you're swimming and you're sort of horizontal to the bottom of the ocean, and you could feel, if you do nothing, you're brought in and out of these little eddies, the little, there's not complete stillness, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not so still that nothing's alive, but it's peace. It's peaceful. It's not turbulent. The depth that we can go into in meditation and in prayer is designed to take us out of the choppy, turbulent surface level of life itself, and then remind us there's something deeper going on. And in that sense of peace, that flowing energy as you're moving around in your prayer, in your meditation, what you feel is a release of having to worry. Why do I worry? Is the thing happening to me right now? In that conversation Tamara and I were having, I asked her, I said, so tell me about a time when you were so kind of caught up in the surface level turbulent emotion of your life that that using the practices that we teach, that you could bring yourself to center. And she says, I'm going to speak for her unless she wants to open up. And okay, fine. She says, no, I'll tell her story. She said that she's going through this turbulent time where everything was unpredictable and a little bit scary. And if she thought about it too long, she could feel herself going into what could promise to be an anxiety attack if she didn't get a hold of it. So somebody gave her a bracelet, one of those bracelets with all the different beads, every different color of bead, except for one bead that was clear. I love this story. So she looks at the bracelet. She's in the traffic, I think she told me. And she's like, I'm about to work myself up into this lather of anxiety. And then I remembered to look at this bracelet. And I focused on the clear bead. And Tamara says that moment she reminded herself, is the stuff I'm thinking about, is that happening right now? In this very moment right here where my feet are, where my head is, where my body is right now, do I have a problem? She's looking around, she's probably checking corners. I think I'm good. I think I'm okay. And that's how she got the anxiety to back off, because it is our minds, the story we tell ourselves, that makes us freak out most of the time. Now, given sometimes you do have to run from the tiger, I get it. But if that tiger is not hotly on your heels, I feel like maybe we're making a lot out of something that may not happen. Like Mark Twain said, oh, I've endured a lot of horrible things in my life. Some of them actually happened. Are we doing that to ourselves? Are we creating, and granted, we have company. Everybody around us is creating something huge out of something that may happen. But what that does is it steals our joy. It steals our present moment. And Ernest Holmes teaches us that we become what we think about. We become the thoughts, the beliefs, all those things that we're doing in our mind. That's creative. It creates our lives. So not only are we stealing from our current moment by our detached attention, not only that, we're likely to create the thing that we're terrified of. What are we doing? I know. I laid out a lot of problems, but I wouldn't do that if I didn't have solutions. So I have for you these 3 steps that came with the talk. Now, normally these talks, we have titles, we have pictures and images, and they're amazing. And sometimes I have to add a lot of my own stuff. And other times I'm like, oh, that's perfect the way it is. This is a 3-step kind of a program, 3-step process. And it is the story. It's kind of like what Tamara's story illustrated already. So it's called the quick emergency plan for when you are feeling like your life is in pieces. There's unpredictability, a little bit of worry, maybe a lot of worry, and you're just not feeling at your best. 3 steps. 1 is stop what you're doing. Stop in the middle of what you're doing. And if you're in a conversation, oh, got to go to the bathroom. 1 second. No, if you're in the middle of an argument and you're just coming up with something to say. As soon as they finish talking, you're going to get them. Recognize that that's where you are. Stop. Say, I have to go potty, go to the bathroom. And notice without judging that you've left that sense of peacefulness and you're in the turbulent water and it's doing like this. Just pull your stop. Step 1 is stop. Step 2 is drop. I love this. Stop, drop, and what? We're not on fire, so we're not going to have to roll. Wait for it. So we stop what we're doing, drop. And this is where you go into the depth. Now we know, according to the metaphor, we were working on the surfaces of all the way things look and feel, and we stop and we drop, because below that, somewhere in the center of our being, there is the divine that never left. It's always there in us. So we take a moment and we breathe. Remind ourselves. And so we go deep. We take our head and we take the energy that we were using in our brain and we move it right to our heart. And we calmly breathe. Now, over the weekend, I was talking to Kristen and she took us through this meditation. You know how she does. And she's got this meditation that has you standing on the edge of the ocean, on the sand in this moment. And when the waves come in, you breathe in. And they're now swirling. The water's swirling around. You remember how it feels to be standing on the sand and the water comes in over your feet. And doesn't it pull some of the sand away as it goes back out? But the water twirls. So you're breathing in. And now do this with me. Feel the wave as it swirls around your feet. Just take that energy of that water from the ocean and let it just soothe you. Imagine that it's coming up your body and it's just... this is healing waters that just as you breathe in. And then as the wave goes out, you exhale and imagine the water receding. And stand on that imaginary shore for a few more in-breaths and out-breaths. You're doing this practice when you've stopped and you're just breathing to try to get your body, your mind, your energy, you want it a little bit further down, go deep. So with a few of those in and out breaths, cleansing breaths, you're calmer, you've gone within. And the third step, so we stopped, we dropped, and now you pray. A prayer that is going to take your mind into what you do want. Now, here's an example. If I am, okay, sure, I'll use the election season. Why not? So let's say I've gotten myself into a frothy mess because I looked at some feeds and I saw something that seemed like the candidate I don't want to win is kind of gonna win. And I go, that's not peaceful. So if I stop that thought and I drop into that centered state, and then I breathe in and out so that I'm happy. I'm bringing my energy somewhere deeper than the turbulent level. And now in my prayer, I am going to pray for what I do want to have happen. I'm going to speak my word of what I do want into this energy. Pray as the peace of the divine. Pray from the space of peace. And you, in this prayer, just knowing that all is unfolding perfectly, that I can't know all the pieces that are in play right now, and that only good and greater good is unfolding in my world right now. Only good and greater good. Knowing that, and that there is power for good in this world, regardless of outcomes. That doesn't mean, like, even if, and now this is the part I typically do not do the worst case scenario in the middle of a prayer, but I'm going to say logically, even if something happened and the other side won or something, that doesn't mean the rest of us die, right? People don't just drop dead when the winter, and that's not how that happens. So what that means is that that in this moment, no matter what, good is unfolding. Good, higher good is unfolding in this situation. And so it takes it out of my hands. I'm not the micromanager that I would love to be. I have no control over any of it anyway. What I can control is my energy, that I am always vibrating at a higher space of goodness. And just, I am an agent of peace. I am an agent of love. I am coming from this peace place, which changes how I interact in the world. It will change how I interact in the world because it has no choice. Gandhi and Buddha, all of the teachers of I don't want to say New Thought, all of the teachers from which New Thought has grabbed its ideation, it always comes from start within. It always comes from it starts here. We never try to change the outside world hoping to feel better once everybody else gets their act together. We know better. We know better. We know that it starts right here, right now, because we experience the world as ourselves. We experience that which we are. That's where the work happens. So we cannot jump off the meditation cushion and run and try to fix everybody, because if we sat a little longer on that meditation cushion, we'd come off of it and say, I love the creative beauty that you are. You're perfect just the way you are. Nothing needs fixing. Amazing how that works. So that peace, this state of inner calm, it's so complete that nothing can disturb it. This is the sense of peace that I'm talking about. The peace which only comes from the idea that all is well. All is well. It's unfolding perfectly and wholly. WHOLLY. Wholeness is unfolding. Fathomless peace. This is the peace of the divine as it is emanated through us, but we can't know it and we can't feel it if we're operating at a level that denies it. So stop, drop, and pray. This is how we use the tools. And I guess I can leave you with this one story. I joined a 12-step program, which is wonderful. When you're going through something and you have decided that in order to avoid pain, you'll come up with some ritual, and the ritual will save you from the pain. Unfortunately, none of these rituals work. I don't care if it's binge eating like was mine, or whether it's alcoholism, which other people have, or drugs, or any, pick a thing. When it offers itself to us to avoid the pain, it doesn't work long term. In fact, it creates more problems than it was trying to solve. So in this world of the 12-step program, this is what they would teach us. They would, first of all, it's a community. We need each other. Can I just say this out loud? We cannot do any of this alone, and that's by design. We need each other. So I would come into these rooms with these girls. They were girls because I was in my 20s too. We looked different, but we all had the same story. And together, we helped each other. We created an environment that when I couldn't hold my goodness, my own self, someone else would hold it for me. And they would say, well, I know you can't love yourself right now, but we love you. And that was like, what? I can't even imagine that. You love me, and I told you all that stuff about me. You still love me. Are you sure? Because I've been contorting myself to try to look perfect so people would love me, and you're going to love me anyway, even though I showed you I wasn't perfect. That's weird. And oh my gosh, that's freeing. That was the basis for being able to stop all of that ideation, all of that stuff that's going on, and just kind of relax in it. Yeah, there's pain, but there's also something bigger. Knowing that there's a higher power other than just ourselves, oh, it's so freeing to be able to turn ourselves over to that. It's amazing. And so when in this story, this is the final story, and then we'll pray. What one of the examples was that there was a king who said, I'm going to reward anybody who can bring me a picture of peace. I'm going to give them lots and lots of money, a big, big reward. And so people came and, artists painted beautiful mountains and serene lakes with reflections of the sun and a nice tree. Everything looked so peaceful. And there was one picture that everybody thought, this is going to win. It's got the mountains. It's got the reflection of the mountains in the lake. The lake is smooth. There's a boat. There's a fisherman in the boat, and everybody's chill. But turns out the one that won the prize was the picture of, yes, there were mountains, but it was turbulent. The waters were turbulent, and it was dark, and between two mountains, there was a tree. But then if you look closer, they looked a little closer at the tree. In the tree was a bird with a nest that was sitting with her eggs, just chilling. In the midst of all of this stuff going on, here's a bird in a tree between two mountains in a little valley, found some peace in the midst of all of that. That was what won the prize. So what I think I'm saying to all of us here, even to myself, why try and wait until things are perfect? Why try and wait until everything externally is calm when we know that the peace that we seek is already within us? It's deep within us, and it can be found even in the midst of what appears to be crazy, turbulent times. This is what we look for. This is I'm not going to let my insides be determined by what's going on around me. And in that 12-step program, we called it, don't compare your insides to other people's perfect outsides, because sometimes what looks perfect, it's not perfect. Never compare, and just always look within for that value. And if you can't find it in yourself, this community at CSL Leesburg, we help you find it. Tamara and I, practitioners, we pray. We have a prayer program. Put your prayer requests in the chat. Send your prayer requests. Well, right now, the website prayer request form is not quite up right now, but definitely send it. Charlene at cslleesburg.org. Prayer will get you there. Ooh, new slogan. Prayer will get you there. So that is it. This week, I would love for you to stop, drop, and pray, and let me know how it goes. I love to hear back from you guys. Let's go into deep prayer now. In fact, we'll end with this quote. When you become confused, stop and listen to your inner calm. Turn from the confusion to that deeper something within. Say, I am surrounded by peace. I am immersed in peace. There is nothing but peace. Peace, deep, calm, undisturbed. That's from Ernest Holmes in This Thing Called You. And so in this undisturbed peace, let's just kind of return back to that space that Tamara had us going to in meditation, and just knowing that right here, right now, there's divine unfoldment. Everything is happening perfectly because we are one with the Creator. That we are part of this huge fabric of interconnectedness. We are not separate. Never could we be, even if we wanted to be. In each and every one of us, there is this divine spark, and each and every one of us has that peace, that presence, that calm, and that awareness. And we all are blessed. In this space of knowingness of oneness, I give my energy and my thoughts of perfection. I put that toward every single person on this planet, especially those that are right now in the midst of war or rumors of war. Anyone that is in the path of some disturbing weather pattern, anyone is in the path of any strife whatsoever. May there be peace right now. Peace that surpasses all understanding. May that be the order of the day. And so, in this sense of peaceful knowingness, I release my word into the law, knowing that it is unfolding right here, right now, and it is already done. And I say, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.
Hello, CSL Leesburg. I know Reverend Shar just dropped some magic on you. And so now I want to invite you to embody this song with me. We'll start with the rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. I am beautiful today. I am beautiful in ways no one else needs to see. I know. You sing that with me? I am beautiful today. I am beautiful in ways no one else needs to see. I know. I am magical today. I am magical in ways no one else needs to see. I know I'm a miracle today. I am a miracle in ways no one else needs to see. I know I am.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Reverend Charlene, for that incredible message.
Hello.
And Leah, sometimes I get lost in your music and then I remember, oh wait, yes, that's right, it's my turn to speak. Oh my. That says it. You're doing a good job, ladies. You're doing a good job. Now is the time to bless the donations that are shared today at CSL Leesburg. We believe in the law of circulation, like you heard in our opening video. So we are a tithing community. The donations that are shared with our center bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. Your donation helps our center. It helps us to do what we do on Sunday mornings to bring our message and our music and meditation to you. And it also helps our home organization, CSL Leesburg, our CSL, and as well as organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. And folks, there's no asterisk behind that word, everyone. A world that works for everyone. And we're always looking for suggestions. If you have an idea of an organization in mind that you'd like us to consider, please go to our website and click give, and it will lead you there. So for now, look at the screen. There are all kinds of different ways for you to give. It's easy to find a way that works just for you, no matter how you're planning on giving. We thank you for your support, and we're going to ask you to join us in our blessing of our gifts. Here we go. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right, it's time for announcement. So Dream Study is on alternating Saturdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you'd like to get together with Charlene and friends to explore your dreams, we know that our subconscious is always trying to get in touch with us. Our spirit guides trying to say, no, 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 you're on this path, and I need you to kind of get off the path that you want to explore this way. Or I need to remind you how wonderful and magical you are, like the words in Leah's song. And sometimes these messages come to us when we're dreaming. Sometimes we can see it very clearly. Sometimes we need some help to interpret our dreams. And that's what Charlene and her friends do on alternating Saturdays at 10 o'clock a.m. Their next meeting is September 7th. So that is next Saturday. Please join them if you can. And that's all of our announcements for now. I do want to say that if you can join us, if you can hang out with us after we officially end our service, we do something called Pearls. And Pearls is where we kind of stay and chat with each other. What really resonated with you? What did you hear in Charlene's talk that you're like, yeah, I like that. I want to explore that some more. Or that gave me some insight. Maybe you're new to CSL Leesburg. We'd love you to just stay and introduce yourself so we can officially welcome you. But this is our time after service that we call Pearls. We just kind of hang around. They're the little jewels that remain after the service. And it's like our coffee hour, but it's virtually. So please stay if you can. And if you can't, just know that we're so glad that you took some time out of your day to join us. I'm going to send you off with love. But first, let's do our closing. So wrap your arms around yourself, give yourself a big old squeeze, and remind yourself that all begins with self-love. Join me, and if you can, unmute yourselves because you know I love to hear you. Here we go. You ready? I am love. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now look at somebody in the room with you. It can be a person, it can be a family, a friend, it can be a furry companion, whoever it is. Or we know since it's all connected, you can send a message out to somebody in particular. It'll travel, they'll feel it. So get that person, that little loved one in mind. And here we go. You ready? You are love.
You are love.
You are love.
See, I felt that. That's wonderful. Now, put your hands up in the air and join me with what we call love sprinkles. Here we go. You ready? It's all
love.
It is all love. Like I said, thank you so much for joining us today. If you can, stay, hang out with us. We'd love to chat with you. And if you have to go, please know that we send you off, like I said, with our blessings and with love. Have a magnificent week.